Hi guys, and welcome to this video. So today I really wanted to talk about warming up and warming up in a specific way. So when I started my bodybuilding journey, I did warming up just like most of the people do from the advice that I got on internet. And now that I've been training for a long time, I actually have my little tips that I think could be very beneficial to you. So I think you should stay in this video. So in my opinion, we usually undervalue warming up to just a normal warm-up that we'll find some advice on the internet, do a few sets before your training session, etc. But here I really want to give some perspective and some actual tips that on the long term could actually save your joints, because I see a lot of people who've been training for a long time and some of them hurt, and although they've been warming up since the start of their bodybuilding journey, they actually hurt in the end. And I think I have a good answer to this and to why, and so I think this is why you should stay in this video. So I think warming up has actually two sides. So we usually only see the physical side of warming up and we forget about the mental side of warming up. And so most of the people, I feel like, when they get injured, they actually were on like autopilot. They go to the gym and they're not really prepared, and this is in the moment where they expected the least that they get injured. And so this is why the mental side of warming up I think is very important, and I'll go a bit deeper into this subject. So in this video we're gonna talk about the mental side of warming up and the physical side. And starting with the mental side of warming up, well, basically it's a bit like visualization or meditation, if you will. You actually start focusing and being aware that you will get into your session, and just the fact to be aware that you're gonna start lifting some heavy weights, etc., puts you in the zone that you're actually ready for any type of heavy weight, and so you're ready to basically not getting injured. What usually happens is that you go to the gym and you're not really ready, so you jump on heavy weights, you kind of do your warm-up quickly, and then boom, it just pops somewhere, and you start feeling pain, or sometimes it gets even worse and you actually really get injured. And so just being aware that you're actually gonna start your session, that by imagining you doing this set, you're let's say prepared to handle them. So this is the mental side of warming up. It's exactly like people who do their PBs, they attempt a personal record. They usually focus for like 30 seconds, 1 minute, or sometimes many minutes. They're just really putting their mind into, I need to lift this heavy weight, I need to beat my personal best. And so they focus, and it helps because you putting all your attention to only this lift that you have to do. And so I want to say you can actually do this at a larger scale, and this larger scale is your whole session. And you can actually do this while actually warming up physically. So while you will be warming up physically, while you focus in your session, you're like thinking, well, I'm going to do heavy weights today, so I'm preparing myself mentally as I'm doing these pretty light sets to get into the mood, to get into this mood of I'm aware that I could be injured, but because I'm gonna prepare myself mentally, this probably won't happen. So here my advice for people who might have been lifting for a while over the years and they're actually injured, even though they actually been warming up all these years, but in my opinion it's because they haven't warmed up enough, or maybe they just haven't really warmed up the right way. So what I mean by this is that some people, for example, will bench press, deadlift, or squat very high numbers, and they will go from empty bar straight to, for example, 60 kg, and then 100 kg, and then 140 kg. And so it's understandable that you want to do this because you don't want to spend maybe too much time warming up. But this is really a big jump to go from 0 to 60 kg or 100 kg. So even if you're a very heavy lifter and you've got a lot of strength, your body is still a lot for your body to go from 0 to 60 kg or to 60 kg to 100 kg, even if it might feel light for your joints, and because you go to the gym almost every day. On the long run, I'm really talking in the long run, this will at some point catch you back. So what I would really suggest is dedicating more time to an incremental way of warming up, where you really go slowly but without it taking too much of your time, and without getting yourself tired as well, because maybe this is also a reason why people jump from 0 to 60 kg to 100 kg, 140, is because they don't want to get too fatigued, and so they don't want to do too many sets, and they want to go straight to their working sets or PBs, and be kind of fresh for it. but you can still warm up really progressively and not be tired, and I'm gonna explain you how. So in my opinion, and this is what I used to do, I used to basically warm up very progressively. So for example, if I wanted to go up to my working sets on the bench press or close to the maxes, what I would do is actually start with the empty bar, and then I would go to 40 kg, I would go to 60 kg, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, etc., up to higher numbers every 10 basically. And so this might sound like too much, but I wouldn't do many reps basically. So I wouldn't do many reps so I wouldn't get tired when I get to my working sets, but the fact that I would go every 10 kg would actually be very progressive, and so my body would get basically very ready, and it wouldn't be such a jump, like I said, from like 60 kg to 100 kg. I'm actually letting my body take the time to be ready to go on very heavy weights. And so this is, I think, a better approach, because it's very progressive and yet it doesn't take you too much time. So how many reps would I do for my warm-up sets? Well, for the very light sets, I would do quite a lot of reps, so I actually get all the blood into my muscles. So at 40 kg I would probably do like 15 or 20 reps, and for 60 kg I would do maybe 8 reps, and then 70 or 80 I would actually do three reps. And then when I was going on to 90 100 kg or 110, 120 etc., I would actually do just 1 or 2 reps, and this is where I'm not getting tired, but I still giving this very progressive way of warming up to my body and actually be really ready for these working sets afterwards. So I didn't have to take too much time in between my warming up sets, as in resting, because I wasn't really tiring myself, and I was just doing 1 or 2 reps to feel the weights and to increase very progressively without tiring myself. Now this is for me, but I also used to do lateral raises with very light weights, like 2 kg plates in between 2 sets. So my shoulders would be ready as well for movements like bench press. I think it's very important to also utilize muscles that will be participating to the movement. So that was for me. Not anyone has to do it, but I think it's very important, and I'd rather do a good warm-up and miss some time of my actual session in the long run, if we're talking about years of training, rather than get a quick warm-up that won't be very efficient, and then get a working session where I'm risking injuries, because the day you're injured, it's actually sometimes months and years of not training. So it's better to get a warm-up, a good warm-up, and kind of miss a bit of your session than doing the opposite. Also, by warming up always in the same way, where you actually go 10 by 10 here, well, there will be days where you actually feel good and others where you feel pretty bad. And so by going always by the same method of warming up, and by going progressively, you can actually feel how you'll feel this day. So as you get to the higher sets, closer, for example, to your personal best, if this is a day you want to attempt a personal best, well, you will kind of feel if you actually are in a good day or not. So that is important to go progressively, because this is what you'll feel. If you go, for example, on the bench press from 60 kg straight to 100 kg, well, you might not really feel, how you feel that day, but by going very progressively, you kind of get the feeling, should I go for a PB today? Well, maybe not, because I can feel that all these sets that I usually do today are not feeling great, so I'm gonna pass on the PB for today and do it another time. And so you do, for example, a session where you go a bit lighter because you're not feeling too well. So that's also a good reason to go very progressively in your warm-up. Of course, so while doing this physical warm-up, in between each session, in between each warming up set, and each time you do your warm-up set, really think that you're gonna get into this heavy session. Be prepared mentally to go into this session, and you'll actually really be in the mood, really zoned in, and this will be really helpful, in my opinion, to make the most out of your session and the most gains possible. So that was my advice, for warming up. Try to warm up mentally and not just physically, to have good sessions and in the long run not get injured. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did so, please feel free to subscribe or leave a comment, and I will see you next time.